Battlefield Hardline's first major patch details. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to focus on today. The official patch notes have been revealed, and I'm sure you're all dying to know what is being changed and tweaked, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Since Hardline's release, there have been a small number of bugs impacting gameplay experience for players, and I'm happy to say most of them are going to hopefully be fixed within this patch. Now, one thing to take note of before I start going over these changes is that some issues have been fixed, but they did not appear in this forum post from one of the devs, and I'm sure it's kind of small stuff they didn't really need to mention, so now that that is out of the way, let's move on to the first major bug fixes that Visceral will hopefully exterminate within this patch. Firstly, server crashes while playing the rescue game mode have been rectified. Now, I haven't touched this mode yet, so I can't really give my thoughts on something I have not experienced, but it is good to know that when I do finally touch this mode, the server won't crash while playing. Next, Visceral have increased the character limit in the map list to support up to 150 maps in a rotation. Again, I don't own a Hardline server, so this probably won't make that much of an impact on a whole lot of people. Next change, you can now set the time limit to 0 and it will disable the time limit for the round instead of instantly ending the round in Blood Money. Definitely one of the more game-changing fixes to come within this patch. I know that people like to play with a ridiculously high ticket counts, and in Blood Money especially, the round would usually end before the score limit was reached. So if you have your own server, you will now be able to stretch those games out. Perhaps Blood Money on the Block will be one of the first servers we see pop up with like 1,000 tickets, or something insanely high like that. Definitely a good fix for me though. Next up, another small set of server crash issues have been addressed with rented servers. Again, I can't really comment on these considering I haven't experienced any server crashes while playing. Moving on even further, we have several fixes, so I'll run through them really quick and give you my thoughts. Fix for the timer in Conquest freezing when the user set the time limit higher than 800. Fix for multiplayer squad join issue where after the squad leader gets disconnected, a new leader can't kick members or disband. A fix for the patch awarded in the release game for reaching rank 10 in the beta. A fix for the derailed evolution where players were teleported to origin of the B flag and sometimes killed. Fix for a crash if the UI is disabled in a config file. Fix for Blood Money exploit in Hollywood Heights where players could access the money pile through the floor or roof. Fix on the Xbox One for players using the invite/join on friend after quick matching. A fix for the Uzi's weapon license cost, setting it to the correct value of $50,000. A fix for the Xbox 360 players being unable to invite friends while playing Rescue. A fix for a rare crash in the customization screen. And finally, all platforms miscellaneous low-frequency server crashes. So, those are all of the minor fixes coming within this first patch. Not a whole lot I can comment on, but one thing is for sure. This game will hopefully run a lot smoother after these changes and fixes are implemented. Now, most of these have to do with server crashes and game crashes, but luckily I haven't had to experience any of that so far. I think my game crashed once or twice, which is really good. Now, it shows that this game is really optimized for the PC platform, or my PC at least. Anyway, let's move on to the gameplay and weapon balance changes. Conquest tickets have been increased to 999 for Conquest Large and 600 for Conquest Small. They also greatly decreased nearby bullet impact flinch. For example, your aim point sight will not shift from rounds striking the environment near you now. Issues with the FLIR and the IRNV have been fixed. The RPG has been reduced to having one rocket in total from the back of the cars, with a smaller explosion radius overall, so definitely one of the more significant balance changes coming within this patch. Now hopefully it will decrease the amount of frustration in modes like Hotwire. With the smaller explosion radius, it will definitely impact how often you actually get blown up at one of these, so one of the better changes coming, which I'm really excited for. Another really good change is to the TDM spawns. The friend zones have been adjusted for better spawning. Now I know this has been a really common issue since Hardline launched. For example, say you just killed a camping sniper, 7 times out of 10 that same guy you just killed would either spawn in front of you or behind you. Now this would result in a lot of unnecessary deaths for both parties, so again, definitely one of the changes I'm looking forward to. I really hope it will spawn people on the other side of the map completely away from you after the patch. Rescue mode and crosshair mode exploit, where players could skip the round start time countdown by hitting start or escape, has been fixed as well. Now I do know this was a major exploit in the game that made it really unfair if you didn't know about this. Basically, if you use the exploit, you would be able to run from the spawn about 5 seconds earlier from everyone else, and that means you could pretty much get halfway across the map before anybody else moved from the spawn, so definitely a good bug fix in my book. Next up, the couch health has been reduced and the repairing rate has also been reduced to a tiny amount, making the couch the one-off it was intended to be. So if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about right now, there's an Easter egg on Dust Bowl that basically lets you drive a couch, and if you want to see this Easter egg, I'll drop a link in the description of this video to another video showcasing it. It's really funny. Moving on, another small change that should no longer put you into a server with an unsupported amount of players when you connect using Quick Match. Now, I don't use this feature because I like picking my own map, ticket count, and stuff like that, so if you do use Quick Match, this will be a welcomed fix for you. As for the highly requested weapon balance change that everyone has been looking forward to, I'm proud to say the K10 has gotten a pretty significant buff. I mean, its max damage has been reduced to 33, and its minimum damage has been reduced all the way down to 8. Yes, you heard right, 8. So from a distance, this thing is now going to take 13 shots to kill. However, in close quarters, it will still be one of the powerhouse SMGs. Now, I'm really hoping this was enough of a nerf to make this gun actually possible to win against in a firefight. The HCAR and GK51 are also getting a reduction in their recoil to bring them more in line with the SCAR H and SA58 OSW. The 410 Jury is getting a damage increase per pellet to become more effective. The FMG9 is getting an increased damage per round to 25, and the effective range is getting extended a little bit as well. Battle rifle minimum damage is getting increased across the board, so this means all battle rifles will receive this. And finally, the AKM's minimum damage is being reduced to 24. So, a numerous amount of bug fixes and weapon changes are coming with this patch. Still no word on the improved netcode fixes, considering this is using a really old build of Battlefield 4 and not the latest one with the netcode improvements. However, once that does make its way into Hardline, we should see a lot less shot behind corner kills, and overall, the game should feel butter smooth. Until then, be sure to let me know what changes you're looking forward to trying out down in the comments today. Like I just said, I'm really looking forward to the netcode improvements, so make sure to let me know what yours are as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video and are looking for more Battlefield Hardline news and information, then subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, leave me a rating if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.